Their actions were, without a doubt, insidious, selfish, and shameful.
For every student admitted through fraud, an honest, genuinely talented student was rejected.
It's not right.
They should just study instead of just cheating their way into there.
It kind of hurts when you see someone getting in from not really doing anything.
The full fallout from a massive college admissions scam could take months to unfold. And just a few minutes ago, actress Lori Loughlin from the hit show Full House was taken into custody. She'll be in court this afternoon. She is one of 2 celebrities and 30 other wealthy parents and 9 coaches charged in the scheme to cheat the admissions process. Loughlin is accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get her daughters into USC as members of the crew team, even though they didn't row. The other big star facing charges, Desperate Housewives actress Felicity Huffman. She was arrested and posted bond on Tuesday. You can read more about the charges at WTSP.com. And there is a Florida connection to this scandal. The college entrance director at IMG Academy in Bradenton is among those almost 50 people charged. Court documents allege Mark Ridell was paid to take exams in place of students. 10 News reporter Sarah Rosario is at IMG with its response.
Officials here at IMG in Bradenton are responding to Ridell's arrest. Late last night, they sent 10 News this statement saying, "Today we were made aware of the charges against Mark Ridell. Ridell has been suspended indefinitely as we investigate this matter." Department of Justice documents allege that Ridell was paid by admissions consultant Rick Singer, who was collecting money from wealthy parents, including several celebrities. Ridell is charged with mail fraud, while Singer pleaded guilty in Boston yesterday to racketeering, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice charges for this scheme dating back to 2011.
Singer accomplished this by paying defendant Mark Ridell, also charged today, to take or correct the exams, and by bribing 2 exam administrators, defendants Nikki Williams and Igor Dvorsky, to allow this to happen on their watch.
The Department of Justice says Ridell would even fly out of different locations to facilitate cheating on the SAT or ACT test for students. Ridell started working at IMG in 2006. He's even a graduate himself of IMG Academy. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with IMG, it is an iconic sports academy training student athletes to be professional athletes, and the students who go to school here range in age from students in 5th grade to those in 12th grade.